goal setting. A lot of people get sick when I mention that they're going to go through a goal setting process, but you really got to establish those benchmarks, know where you're going, be real clear about them, and identify what stops you from getting there right now, today. We picked up, I don't know, you can share this about your language when you first left the message from me. I'll let you talk about that. But those are kind of things that you may not be paying attention to, but somebody on the outside like me is focused on that kind of language, how you manage your game, what kind of thinking goes on, your types of goals, how often you set them, how much you're working on this. Most people, let's say they spend hours and hours on practice and the physical. Here you've got something that's 90 to 95% of the game, and we're getting at the peak performance level. And people say, well, I spend about 5% of my time. Actually, for the pros, it's less. For the pros that excel, it's 5% or more practice time and mental skills. The ones that are winning, the ones that are really competing at a high level, athletes are actually doing this a lot more than the ones that aren't. So I think, just going back, I circle back to what I saw in his profile when I matched it against the different psychologists out there, the programs that have been developed, Terry Orlick in Ottawa, and people like that, and then a couple out in the West Coast. Every different profile that I've seen, he actually fits right in there already into the kind of thinking that is in exceptional athletes. And that's what's really neat. I don't see it in everybody, but that's what I saw in Jacob, and I think with some real, his base programming, some fine-tuning, he's going to be, I think, amazing. So, if you got questions, it's his thing, not me. But you want to mention that thing?
I will.
I'll be here.
What he's talking about is when I actually when I called him, once Peter gave me his contact number, I called him up and I left a message and I said, "Hi, my name's Jacob Scriven. I'm well, I guess you can call me a professional golfer right now. I'm trying to be a golfer. I'm trying to be a pro." And that was the message I left for him. Now, once we started speaking, he said, "You're already in such a negative place right now. When you introduced yourself to me, you said, I think I'm not, instead of just, I'm Jacob Scriven, I'm a professional golfer, and here's what I'm trying to do, and I want to progress." So these are the things that we've been working with to get yourself, that was a block in itself. That's a thought that you have really no identity, but giving yourself that identity, it keeps on bringing you back to saying, you can do it, and along with all the practice that he's been talking about, these are things that are definitely going to help as I continue. So, anyways, moving on, and thanks again, Jim. I have, along with my goals, I have objectives, a certain plan of what I'm going to do for the next year or so right now. My number one option is going to be, or my number one plan is earning status on the Canadian Tour. I'm going to go to the Q School, which is in Florida. It's March 17th. I'm going to qualify for the Canadian Tour. Come Sunday, I'm leaving actually to go to Houston. I'm going to be living with a friend of mine through school in Houston. I have a place to stay with him. Being down there gives me a chance to work with a coach, and I have a couple that are in the mix down there that I want to speak with and come up with a plan of action so that we can work on certain things that I need. The other thing is that I'm able to play golf and prepare for the Canadian Tour, which is a big point. I need to get there so that I can have the rest of the year. And again, while I'm down there, there's a few PGA events that I can go through that will allow me to, if I get into them, I'll be able to play on the PGA Tour. And you never know with the PGA event, if you place in the top 25, you're able to move to the next week. So if the best situation comes about, I play real well, and now we're with PGA, and we're really working towards a good thing. This is the Tight Lies Tour schedule. It's one of the schedules. Sorry, it's one of the schedules that I'll be playing in. It's a tour that's going on in Houston. Now it's been going on since December, but some of the events that I'm going to play in is going to be February 23rd, March 2nd, March 9th. I'm gonna play in those, and basically it'll be a preparation for the Canadian Tour. So I want to be able to play in those so that I'll be getting myself ready for the. That's not working. I want to have that so that I'm prepared and ready for the tour.
Does that allow a cup?
I'll take a look.
Okay. Anyways, one of my other secondary objectives is attending the PGA Tour Q School. If I get to the final stage, I get a minimum of a nationwide tour card, which is one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. If you place in the top 25 at final stage, you get to move on to PGA Tour. You get a full card for that. Of course, one of my secondary objectives is just continue with this large step to move forward. I'm really, in my mind, I've been moving at a quick pace, and I want to keep that pace up. So I want to just be continuing to move in the right direction. If things don't go the right way, the Canadian Tour has a spring qualifying. That's actually the very following week. That's in San Diego, California. And there's also PGA Tour opportunities, a nationwide tour that I can play as I move up if I'm not on the Canadian Tour. Here's a budget that I had for the season. With my events, travel expenses, Canadian Tour fees, travel is my biggest expense. But along with PGA Q School, I'm going to be looking at a year that'll be about just under 61,000. I'm trying to generate that money through sponsorship and sharing. And a lot of golfers go two different routes. You have either the sponsorship and one other thing. There's three avenues. We did do this in Thanksgiving. We had a golf tournament to raise some money. But one way is sponsorship. Chance to put your logo on apparel, just product placement, and there we lost it. Down to half. Anyways, it's product placement, and it's a place to get your name out, and especially if I'm playing, say on, if I make it the PGA Tour and play well, then I have a way, or I have if your logo's on, it's going to be seen. So, anyways, that's one way, sponsorship. And sponsorship, it really isn't a way other than your personal, your name being seen and maybe public appearances and stuff like that. That's one way that I'm putting myself out and trying to find some form of sponsorship. Now, the other way is a little different, and a lot of golfers have been doing this. It's sharing. I've offered my 25 shares in myself.
You got it there.
Yeah, we got it.